Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one of my Addison's web videos. This topic this time is about working and Addison's disease. Now, working in Addison's disease, you can work very good, fulfilling hours and make really good pay while having Addison's disease. Now, that's some people. I have a very hard time working because of the Addison's disease and various health issues that I do have. Because I've had Addison's disease for 10 years, I do have osteoporosis, carpal tunnel, I have equinus, which is the tight Achilles tendon. I walk on my tippy toes. Makes it hard to stand for long periods of time. I'm hypoglycemic, I'm dyslexic, I have scoliosis, I have a bunch of other stuff wrong with me that makes it even harder for me to work compared to just having Addison's disease. So if you just have Addison's, it might be a little different, a little bit more easier for you than it is for me to hold and maintain a job. And I do believe that there are different severities of Addison's. It really depends on when you were diagnosed, and truthfully to me there just really is different severities of this disease for people. Now, I will say that I got Addison's disease at 12 years old, so I went into the workforce already sick, and I've worked at the same job since 2008 at 16 years old because the people know my family really well and they work with me and they understand, because my boss has diabetes really bad. She has an insulin pump, so she knows that it can be harder to work with health issues and problems, and her daughter's had a lot of trouble with being anemic and severe migraines and stuff, so she understands, and it helps me to work. But I do need to change my line of work because of the fact that it's very hard on my body and my carpal tunnel and a lot of other health issues. I've been told I need to change my job for a while now. But since the fact that I got Addison's disease so young, I can only work 2 days a week. I started out working 3 days a week, longer hours, but as it's went and as my disease has progressed, I've had to lessen my hours. And that's because I do work in food service. I work 2 days a week in the morning for 4 hours each, and I work on the days that are a little bit more slower, so that way it's not too much harder on my body to try to deal with. And I got into the workforce with Addison's disease. I didn't get a chance to go to college. I didn't get a chance to work and save up for a car, so it's harder for me to try to in a one-car household with my father also working. It makes it harder for me to try to go out and get a different job because I never got a chance to save money to get a car, and I'm just in a worse pickle. And I'm sharing my story this way because I want other people who are younger or other people who are having the same struggles as me to know that I understand, and it really does suck to have the disease, because it can be hard to talk to employers and to get employers to understand, because every shift runner and manager should know how to administer your shot, so that way if something happens they can, time is of the essence, get your shot as soon as possible. And people that you work with should at least know that you have Addison's disease and know that if something happens, just call 911. You don't have to tell everybody how to give you your shot. And if you really want to, because my shift runner doesn't know how to give me my shot, at least have the manager know how to do it. Because for the most part, if you work in food service or factories and you get hurt, unless if you do something like smash your hand or cut off your finger, because that does happen in factories, do something, or if you get something in your eyes, it makes it anything that can keep you from, I need to close my curtain in a second, I'm sorry. Anything that can keep you from giving yourself your shot, then you wouldn't be able to administer it. But it's very hard to go into the workforce because a lot of employers don't want to deal with your health issue. They don't want to work with you on your hours. You're their slave. They're going to work you the hours they want to work you, and you just got to shut up, put up or get out pretty much. And it makes it very hard to have a job, and it makes it hard to go out into the workforce. Now, if you are older and you've already busted your butt in college and you are established someplace, it may be easier for you because they may not be wanting to let go of you as easily, and they may try to work with you, be more sympathetic because you've developed a bond there, and they may try to just work with you the best that they can. But I've heard stories from a girl who worked as an ER nurse, and she had to quit her job even though she loved it because she just could not work the hours. She just couldn't work the hours that was needed to be the ER nurse. So you may find with Addison's disease you may need to change your line of work because of the fact that you can't handle what you're doing anymore, and that can be very disappointing if you've worked hard, like becoming an ER nurse or is working your way up in certain things to have to change it. It can be very, very hard and very disappointing and very upsetting because, you went out and you picked this and you wanted to do this. Now, since I did get my Addison's disease so young, I altered my thinking to think of alternative ways to make money. And that's something that you're just going to have to think about with the workforce and having Addison's disease. If you do have trouble working the hours, you're going to have to think of alternative, low-impact ways to work. So, low-impact alternative places to work, and that can be very hard too, because a lot of jobs that are open around here is either food service or it's factory work, and those can both be long hours and very physically demanding, and it can make it very hard to try to work because it's hard to find low-impact things. But if you don't have dyslexia like I do, you could do things like medical coding or certain stuff like that. But with dyslexia, sometimes some schoolwork and stuff like that. I know I got awkward lighting right here. I'm sorry. Some schoolwork and things can be a little trying and not realistic to do. And I really have no interest in going to college right now because I can barely pay to take care of myself living at home, let alone trying to worry about student loans and trying to honestly go to college when I don't have a car and I can't get the money to get the car. I live in low-income style living. My parents aren't rich. They can't go out and just get me a car or finance a car. So it's very, very hard to have Addison's disease and work. It's not an impossibility, but you do have to think of alternative ways to make money and to work. s.s.i is something that you could consider, and that's what the next video is about s.s.i and disability. And I do want to apologize for the weird lighting I got on my face. Here, I'm going to skip the rest of the video. There. Sorry, I should have moved sooner. But s.s.i is something to consider, but I will discuss it more in the next video. But pretty much, working with Addison's can be a very big challenge, and one thing I hate the most is when doctors say, well, I don't see why you can't work all these hours. I don't see why you would have a problem doing this. And it's like, really? You have Addison's disease and you try to work with it. It's very hard and it can be very complicated. But basically, it's about looking at alternative ways to work and to try to make money, and I definitely do struggle working. Sometimes it would be easier to get a little help and to just quit working and to just try to find alternative things to do to make money. Like right now I'm looking into, I do YouTube videos and reviews. I don't make much money doing the videos, and I'm not doing these videos to make money, but like at perfume reviews and stuff I do try to make money doing those. And I'm trying to look into opening a home business so that way I can try to support and take care of myself better. And it's a struggle, it's a balancing act. I definitely would love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've had trouble working with Addison's disease, if you've had to change your line of work, how does it go for you? I would definitely love to hear about it down in the comments below, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.